Hello, everybody. It's Christy Whitman with the Quantum Success Show, where you can get your information and inspiration to create your desires. And as you can see, I have a friend next to me. Before I give her a formal introduction, there are certain people that I work with, and Clardy Malugen is one of them. I've been working with Clardy for about 3 years now. She is my energy healer. Anytime I have something funky going on or I just want to go to my next level, she is the woman that I go to. Many of you that were at the Goddess Rising experience a couple of years ago got to have the wonderful experience of being in Clardy's presence and receiving her healing. And for those of you that don't know her, haven't been introduced to her yet, you're in for a really big treat. So let me give the official, information about Clardy, and then we'll get started into the juicy information that I know is there for you today. So Clardy Malugen is the author of Let's Manifest Miracles. She's a brilliant visionary, a loving spiritual teacher, and a master of multidimensional energy frequencies. Her unique transformational process leads students and clients to merge with what she calls the miracle zone, an energy state where they can easily manifest joyful, balanced, miraculous lives. And I've experienced that firsthand myself. Clardy's live events and online classes include laser-like insights, cutting-edge tools, and transmission of high-frequency energy, which can be the catalyst for the spontaneous release of physical and emotional blocks and unconscious patterns. The results often include mind-boggling miracles, which seem to consistently show up in the lives of our clients and students. Everything from remarkable physical healings to soulmate sightings to financial windfalls and career advancement. Also considered to be one of today's most gifted master healers, and I would attest to that myself, Clardy's unique energy work has astonished scientists and medical professionals while profoundly transforming thousands of lives across the globe. According to international physicists who have studied her work, she has the ability to access and transmit a powerful transdimensional energy that can create shifts at the level of the DNA. So in layman's terms, the energy seems to dissolve old patterns and beliefs that are muddying and blocking the energetic field. Clients report healings of emotional traumas and physical challenges, as well as increased energy and the ability to manifest what they want more quickly and easily. And she's also amazing at helping people with addictions. Clardy was formerly the CEO of a multi-million-dollar bi-coastal entertainment corporation and creative consultant to many Fortune 500 companies, such as Walt Disney Imagineering and NBC Television. Today, her practice includes private work with high-end clients and like people in business, entertainment, and self-empowerment, like me, to help expand levels of consciousness in their own lives and in the lives of the organization and tribes that they influence. She is a former resident of LA and New York, and she currently resides in Central Florida. So Clardy, it's been way too long, and I'm so glad that you are finally on the Quantum Success Show.
Thanks, Christy. It's great to be here.
I am so thrilled you're here. And I know that the people that were there at the Goddess Rising many years ago, a couple years ago, will just be so thrilled to see that you're here. So thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. That remembering that Goddess event, it was such an amazing, it really wasn't all that long that I was actually doing what we did, but we were working with, a lot of people in a very short period of time. And it was just amazing to watch. I know I was in the middle of doing it, but I also sort of watched the whole thing from my own shoulder, I think. And it was just remarkable, beautiful group of women. And what an amazing memory that is for me too. Wonderful, wonderful thing.
I have an amazing community. I'm very grateful.
Yeah, you really do. Great people. Yeah.
So let's talk about this. So, obviously, a lot of the people that come into my community, they either want to become a coach or they are interested in law of attraction. And do you feel that why are blocks always the reason for why law of attraction doesn't seem to be working as someone plans it to be?
Well, I think it's true that the law of attraction is a law. It is a law. It's physics. And, we all talk about that, but it's really the truth. It's really the truth. And I've seen it through my work for 20, 25 years, that people, when they're doing the law of attraction and they understand the principles and the techniques, sometimes they think they're doing everything exactly right, but they miss the point that there's an unconscious block that's actually operating. And I think what we need to realize is, honestly, it's always going to be about the blocks. And why is that? It's because the blocks are where your actual energetic frequency is stuck. It's your blocks are keeping your energetic frequency at a lower level than you would like if you were more conscious of it, right?
Yeah.
And the real lesson, I think, with the law of attraction always is going to be when you feel that the law of attraction may not be working like you thought, or you did everything you thought you were supposed to be and something still isn't manifesting like you want. The first thing you have to do is look at those blocks, look at those unconscious blocks, look at that thought process that keeps coming up for you, and really take a look at all that, because that is where the secret to what's really stopping you. That's going to be the secret to what's really going on with the law of attraction. It's always 100% of the time. That's where the issue really is.
Well, I always say that, we have we're here where we are, right? And there's a deeper part of us. It could be the personality that has the desire. So it's either a deep desire within, or it's a personality desire that wants us to come here. So it could be the gap between having more money than we have currently, or having a different type of career that brings us joy and passion, or, having the guy in our bed or not, whatever the gap is. There's this gap between what we want and where we are. And exactly what you're talking about is we're resonating here. And so there's something blocking us that's not allowing us to resonate and get to that place. Because once we get vibrationally matched to this, then we have it. But then what happens as human beings is we make another intention, or we, have another desire. And then it's like, okay, there we go again. And that's why the work that I do with you is always so important, because I know me, I'm always intending, always wanting to create something. Yeah. And there's always that gap.
Right.
And so there's a lot of people that spend a lot of time in anxiety and worry and just, despair and just the whole thing trying to get this frequency up to this gap. And that's where they feel like I'm doing everything, but law of attraction, maybe it's just not working for me. And then we turn the knives on ourselves. Like I must not be deserving. I must not be good enough. It must be something wrong with me. It's like, no, it's just a gap, and the gap needs to be leveled. And that's where your work comes in, because you release the blocks that allows a frequency to get to that place.
Exactly. And remember, so many times, well, really pretty much 100% of the time, these blocks are unconscious. You really don't realize you're doing them. And so much of the work that I do is about helping people, is putting people in a place where they can just not release, but expose those blocks. And I call it putting the light on your blocks, or putting the light on your unconscious blocks, because they're going to remain hidden. The energy that you're spending, getting excited about something and wondering about why it's not working, or getting disappointed, or whatever else it is you're doing to spend your energy, rather than looking underneath and asking yourself, what is this block that keeps me doing the same thing again and again and again and again, year after year? I keep attracting the wrong partners. I keep sabotaging my jobs. What is it I'm doing? And I keep doing my visualizations. I have these things all written down. I did my vision board. But if you're not looking at the voices in your head, what I call the voices in your head, you're not looking at where the places are that you're on autopilot, what I call autopilot, which is just doing those same old behaviors that you've always done, that are technically run by the unconscious patterns. If you don't take a look at those, you are going to continue to be in those bad relationships. You're going to continue to sabotage your job positions. You're going to continue to just do what you've always done. It's not until you look at those unconscious patterns, and the most amazing things, and this from my work, all we have to do is get one good one. All we have to do is get the pattern that's underneath, that's really powerfully operating. Once we can diffuse that pattern, once we can rewire that pattern, everything can change. Because when we change your frequency in any area of your life, we're changing your frequency in every area of your life.
Well, let's make this practical, because, and I'm willing to share this because this is my community, but I remember about a year ago, I did not even, as empowered as I am, as the success that I've created, I did not realize what I was doing, but I was doing I was reacting and behaving from a pattern of drama and chaos. And I learned that from the masters, my parents. They're very amazing at it. And they taught me to do it very, very well. And, I didn't even realize, I had worked, it's a spiral spiritual path, right? I had worked on this on many levels, but it was something that was blocking me in such a way that I had no idea. And I started going, I teach this. Why am I not, and I was creating drama and struggle. And more importantly, I was creating situations where it would be chaotic so that I could feel good because I got to clean up the chaos. And that's how I kind of felt like, yay, that's my sense of purpose. And you enlightened me on that. And you're like, don't tell Christy, but you have this.
and that's a good point, because you can't talk to the person that's creating the chaos. You have to talk to the essence of Christy. You have to, you have to really get through. You have to get under that chaos to really get to the truth.
Yeah, but it's crazy because it's like a year later now, and I actually have no tolerance for drama, struggle. I just can't be around it. I'm so repelled by it. And so grateful that a huge block, because education point right now, disempowerment, or I should say another way of saying it is self-pity, which is what drama and struggle and all that bring about. Self-pity is the lowest vibration in the universe. So whenever you're creating all this chaos or drama, and then you're left feeling like, well, nothing I do, I can't seem to do this, I can't seem to lose weight, you're in a place of being in self-pity. And that's where I kept finding myself a year ago. And when we popped that and we really, really worked through that, it was like, I'm not going, and it still comes up because, like you always say, it's a shark's last stand, right? It's like the shark is trying to pull us down, or it's coming up. And there's been moments and I'm like, because another thing I learned from you is, and I never got this before, was that every single moment you have a choice. And I'm human, so there's still times where I choose the wrong thing, and then I have to go, But that has been a big life changer for me, is to know that even in my emotions and how I react to something, I have a choice either to react or to not react. And I can either stay in a space of essence, or I can go into panic and chaos and everything else that comes. And sometimes I start to go there and I go, I don't want to choose that. So this has been a big thing for me. And this is what you help people do, is uncover the big stuff that we're planted. Like I was planted in this little garden with my mom and my dad that did this pattern. Everybody else in my family does it too. Aunts, uncles, cousins, the whole shebang. So to me, that's normal. And to look and go, to now be on the other side of it going, oh my God.
Right.
It's like, we don't know we're in it when we're in it.
That's right. You don't. And you continue to repeat it until the point where you realize, I don't feel good when I do this. Maybe there is another way to feel, or maybe there's another way to be where I won't feel like this anymore. And I think the other point that is a good point to make about the creating chaos piece is, most times when you're creating chaos, you're doing it to avoid feeling what you're really feeling. You're whether you felt threatened in a familial situation, or you felt like you weren't being loved, or you felt like you weren't being acknowledged, or whatever it is. When you go and you move into chaos, that's something you can play with. That's something you can see. That's something you can control. So it's just an easy way out of really feeling the love or lack of love. In many cases, if you're not getting what you need as a child, you may go in and just create more chaos. But yeah, we learn it at our parents' needs. We learned how to behave, and we continue to exhibit those behavior patterns no matter what. They feel comfortable to us, and so we just continue.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's profound. I think in your case, that one pattern was huge for you. And when you were able to let go of that pattern, look at what happened in your life and in your career. It seemed like everything just started blossoming. Well, was that a coincidence? I don't think so. It really wasn't, because so much energy goes into, and remember, creating chaos is a safe space. That's comfortable. That's what you're used to. And moving off into, or moving out into, doing what your heart and your soul really wants you to do, that's scarier for the part of you that creates chaos. For the part of you that's your truth, it's ready to fly. It's ready to be all that it can be. And that's where we're taking you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting too, is to be, and this is for everybody that's working through and doing your own inner work, when you're coming to that place of like, just really being in a place of peacefulness, when you never knew that place before, peacefulness can be really uncomfortable when you're so used to the chaos and the drama, that the peacefulness is like, this is uncharted territory here. I don't know how to be or act, or how to, and there's an adjustment period, because the foundational frequency, as you call it, is gone. You've shifted it, right?
Yeah. And when you really allow yourself to merge with that higher frequency, that's when you become comfortable. You become truly peaceful. You become truly free and abundant, and all those good things that we talk about, because that is truly your natural state. When you're living in those higher frequencies, that's where you're supposed to be, and that's where your truth, and that's where your purpose. Everybody talks about purpose. When you're living in those higher frequencies, you don't have to wonder about what your purpose is, because you are living it in every moment. You just know. You feel it, and you just take the next step. It's a very natural process.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, foundational frequency is huge. Absolutely huge.
Yeah.
Great concept. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So what are the top 3 areas to focus on when we want to start letting go of the things that are limiting us?
Well, I think, releasing is the most important thing you can do. If you're not living at the highest of high frequencies 24 hours a day, that means you need to release. And whatever area it is of your life, you need to get started, and you need to do it every day, really. The limiting behavior patterns are always going to be number 1 on the list. But look at the relationships that you're in. I know a lot of times we stay in relationships maybe that we really shouldn't be in anymore, because our frequency has shifted, and the relationships might be dragging us down and taking our energy in ways that we really don't want them to anymore. Look at those things. Look at those relationships and ask yourself, maybe I want to start moving into having friendships with other people. Maybe I want to be around this person or that person less. But relationships are huge in terms of helping you to really look at where you're using your energy in ways that aren't really supporting you. So I would take a look at a couple of your relationships and ask yourself, do I really want to be in relationship with this person like I used to? Do I need to shift the relationship, or do I need to call someone because I'm thinking about them too much because there's an upset on that relationship? But relationships are a real key place that you can look at to kind of get a real good idea about where you are in terms of frequency. Another thing that I suggest that people do is look at simple physical things. For example, what are you eating? What are you drinking? What's in your environment? Are you engaged in eating things that may be putting toxins in your body? What about, are you drinking things that are putting toxins in your body? What's going on in your environment? Are you living in a place with mold or bad air or whatever? Look at those things in your environment, because any type of toxin, whether it's an emotional toxin or a physical toxin, is taking your energy. And I know a lot of times people don't really look at that, but look at that too as something you need to release, so that you can really grab the energy that is what you're going to be using to build the miraculous future that you really do want to build. There's lots of other ways that you can do it. One of the things that I'm a stickler with, and one of the courses that I teach, it's called the Release-a-thon, is clean up your crap. Get that junk out of the back of your car. Clean out your trunk of your car. Clean out what's under your bed. go into your drawers, go into your closets, really get yourself organized well, remembering that everything, literally everything that you come into contact with, your energy is interacting with. It's either going to feed you or it's going to take your energy. So know that in relationships, in what you're eating, what's under your desk, whatever it is, the people, it's the people that you engage in and the stuff that you're reading on Facebook or online or what you're watching on television. Just be aware that in every moment you're making a choice about where you're going to put your energy. And if you truly want to create a miraculous future, whether it's in relationships or making more money or whatever career, whatever it is you want to manifest right now, if you don't get clear about how you're utilizing your energy in every moment, you're really never going to be able to control the things that you're going to be manifesting in our miraculous consciousness world that we're living in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Thank you. Those are great tips. I remember I received a gift years ago from someone that I'm no longer in a relationship with. And every time I looked at it, I would get knocked off. And I'm like, why am I keeping this? So I finally got rid of it. And I don't feel like in my environment that I get pulled off my energy anymore, because I just chose to release that thing because I released the relationship. And it sounds so simple, but it works.
I have to tell you a silly story because it just happened to me yesterday. I have this table. It's so funny. And it was just such a perfect example. I had a table that was sitting kind of in my way to get from my office to my living room to go around. And I'm not kidding you, for 3 weeks, I have either run into this table or pushed this table or hit, I've got a bruise on my, and I thought, oh my God, how crazy is this? A physical block literally in my way, and I don't take the 5 seconds, to move the table. And we do this all the time. These people that are in our lives every day, we don't even imagine the fact that we can let go of them or, whatever it is. But I thought, wow, and you teach this and you're running, you're all bruised up from hitting this table, but it's just true. That's the way it always is. It's the things that are right in our face that are often the hardest to see, which is true also of unconscious patterns. So,
but
anyway.
It's anything. This sounds funny too. Like I have a powder puff thing I just bought because my other one broke. And so when I'm putting on my makeup, this thing, it's brand new, it sheds. And so I'm constantly picking. It's so annoying. I'm picking hairs from the brush off my makeup. And and it annoys me. And it's like, why am I go get another one, not the same brand, go get something else. Those minor annoyance things that we have control of, I could just go and buy another one. I don't have to sit there and get upset that I'm, or annoyed that I'm having to pick hair off my face from the brush. So, all these little things, anytime you're feeling your energy being pulled off, that's where we need to, adjust it.
Absolutely. And it's such a great lesson. These little things, that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Just throw it away. Really, we struggle through making these decisions about whether we should get out of a relationship or whether we should, change our job or whether we should, we struggle. But the moment that we make the change, we always go, why didn't I do that a long time ago?
Yeah. But I think it's like you said, the little things. It's the brush. Are we willing to be annoyed and keep accepting this thing that annoys me just in the realm of a brush or a table being in our way? And I think when we start paying attention to those little things, the bigger ones are easier to release because it's always the pattern in which we do it. It's like, no, I'm not willing to tolerate this. I'm going to go get something else. I'm not willing to tolerate this. I'm putting this somewhere else. I'm not willing to tolerate this person that's being abusive mentally, whatever in my life, or that is just a drama queen that's pulling my, whatever, it's like we then tend to do it with bigger and more significant things as well.
Yeah, that's right. And I think also, just to add, as your frequency gets higher and higher and higher, you when you don't want to get in a relationship with someone, or when you shouldn't turn down that street, or you shouldn't buy that house, or you whatever it is, you just have a sense of it. If you're able to listen all the time, you're constantly being told what the next step is, and you don't have to make those detours and get your energy sucked into something that isn't going to support you. So I think the higher frequencies also give you that. You're more aware when things go off your frequency, like you meet someone you don't think you want to get in business with. You go, oh, I just realized I don't want to get in business with them. And you don't. You just don't. You go the next step, or you go to the next corner, and there is the person that you're supposed to be in business with. So, or whatever that example is. Yeah.
Well, I know your work focuses on the miracle zone and on the concept of really creating miracles. So what is, in your definition, miracle consciousness, and why is it so important these days?
Well, I think it's very important these days, for sure. I think that miracle consciousness really is about staying in the zone. It's about staying in the highest frequency. It's about staying in your essence, in your magnificence, in the essence of light that is you. It's what I say. It's when you're living your highest light, you are a miracle. Your whole life is a miracle. And I think there's an awful lot of chaos. Speaking of the word chaos, there's an awful lot going on out there in the world right now, and it's very good at trying to knock us off our essence, or knock us off the space of light or of love or freedom or whatever, wherever we're at. But I think it's so important to realize that you have a choice, and I know we're talking choice here today, but you truly have a choice to live a miraculous life in every moment. Every moment, and to allow yourself to get tugged down by what's going on television, or all this media, fake or not, or what does that mean anyway? I think it's important that we always go back to center, that we always remember that the choice is ours, and that we just get back to that resonance, that high frequency resonance of who we truly are. And to me, having a space called the miracle zone, and having a space called the light, where your essence flourishes, knowing that space exists, knowing that's the ideal place for us to keep our energy focused, knowing that gives us that choice in that moment where we're ready to dip, or we're ready to go off on something we just read on Facebook or whatever, and to help us to center back in the light and in the space of miracles. So it's very important right now.
Well, you say, on the planet. Yeah, you say that, and that's why I'm so grateful that you're giving the gift that you're giving, because when we have that energy dip, you have something really amazing for everybody that's listening, and they can go and download it. So you're giving the manifestation machine is a powerful 5-minute frequency activator. So it's an MP3 that can literally supercharge your foundational frequency. So do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. I love this piece. It was kind of an experiment, honestly. We wanted to see if it was possible to do 4 levels of frequency enhancement in the same MP3. So what we did was, there's a motivational track where I'm actually motivating you to get out there, keep your frequency up, and manifest your own miracles. We have a music track that also does the same to raise your frequency. Then we have a subliminal track that's all about creating abundance, which everybody wants, right? And then also we lay down an additional track of my healing frequencies. So I'm actually transmitting the high frequency healing energies into this also. So it's a 5-minute, we call it frequency activator, but it's for use while you're moving. So it's not a meditation, it's an activation where you'll use it when you're running, or you want to do a 5-minute walk, or you want to get up every hour when you're at your desk and walk around, or however you want to use it. I use it with arm weights sometimes. I use it when I walk, but it's a 5-minute jolt of energy that really makes you feel good and helps you get that frequency back up if you've gone down a little bit. So I think everybody will like it. It's really fun.
So what we do know is it takes 17 seconds to shift a vibration, 68 seconds to actually have law of attraction start working. So you're giving 5 minutes of that. So they're being seeped for 5 minutes in a new frequency and vibration. So thank you for that gift. It's going to be right underneath the video. So I suggest that all of you go there. Why wouldn't you?
I think you guys will like it. It's really fun.
Raise your vibration. Thank you, Clardy, for generously giving that gift. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate you and all the difference that you've made in my life. And I'm so grateful that you finally are on the Quantum Success Show.
Yeah, I loved it. Thank you so much for having me, Christy.
Absolutely. So everybody, let me know. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're taking away from the discussion that I had with Clardy today. Please make sure to go download this. I want to leave me the feedback of how you felt after you listened to the 5 minutes and the activation, and how you feel different, what it did for you. I really want your feedback. So make sure you continue the conversation with me. This is how I find, your feedback and how I'm best supporting you. So have a great week, everybody. Thanks again, Clardy, for being here. Okay, bye, everybody. Have a great week. Bye. Thanks for watching, and here is a related video to watch right now. Also, check out my free webinars on creating whatever you want in your life using the universal laws that I explain in each webinar. So share your thoughts by leaving a comment and continue the conversation at ChristyWhitman.com.